Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're looking at this guy here. Now, in the box, you will find the C3. You will find the beautiful cable, and there are some tips. Unfortunately, there isn't a pouch like you got before with the other ones. Looking at this cable, I really do like this cable. I've been playing around with it, and it doesn't stay tangled, so don't worry about that. Nice spirally design, little bundler right there, Velcro bundler. Get to the splitter and the slider, very nice looking, matching. And we get up to this part with the IMs. There's the nozzle filter, left and right indicators, and that beautiful kind of carbon fiber design. I really like it. Now, look-wise, I would definitely give these, at least out of 10, I would give these 8.9, because they do look very sharp. I think I kind of like the look of the Plus just a little bit better, that kind of swirly design. It just stands out a little bit more. Same type of filter on the end there, only the nozzle is metal on this one. That doesn't make much of a difference. So anyway, these were good. Put those off to the side. And these are more of an improved version, if you will, of those. Now, I'm going to go on a record here and say this is my favorite out of all the budget ones. This is my favorite cable out of all the tins. I absolutely love the cable that comes with the C3. Didn't really like the cable with the C2, and there's nothing wrong with it per se. I mean, it's actually a nice cable for a stock cable, and the build on these is really good too. And these are neutral as well, but they're just a different kind of neutral signature. If you like technicalities and stuff, then you would go with the C2 definitely. Well, I'm going to put those off to the side for now. So we're concentrating on the C3. So you get a bunch of tips, different sizes. They're like this, if you can see that. And you get some documentation, then you get the cable and that. No, there's no case or anything. It's kind of disappoints me with the last things that Tin has done, because they were actually known for some really good cases. The P1, and I'm trying to think of another one. The T4 had some really nice cases, leather cases with them. And then they got into the pouches, and now they're not giving you anything with it. So I'm going to have to pick up some tin cases to go with these, because I really do like these. Spoiler. And they are beautiful, don't get me wrong. The way they shine in the light like this, outside in the sunlight, it must be really spectacular looking. If the studio lights are picking that up pretty good as it is. Let's get into the sound signature, but first I want to get into some of the specs here. So we have a 10mm PU LCP composite diaphragm dynamic driver. We have a gold-plated 2-pin connector. We have a 1.25 cable, which is a 4-strand transparent PVC silver-plated copper wire. And looking on the back here, it does not give me what size 2-pin connector it is. Wow, that's usually, you get that, but I'm not getting that from this. So maybe I'd have to look that more up somewhere else. There might be some more information. It is 32 ohms. It's 5 milliwatts max, 10 to 20 kilohertz, 106 decibels of sensitivity. The weight's 4.39, and that's not bad. I mean, they're lightweight. I mean, compared to some other one. I mean, compared to like the Gimlet, they're extremely lightweight. And that doesn't mean that they're not made well, because they are made very well. This nice, smooth, very comfortable, very good isolation too. I might, at least in my ears, there was an excellent seal. There's excellent overall isolation with them. They were comfortable as heck. I mean, they're basically a similar shape to the Plus, and the Plus was very comfortable, had good seal and everything else as well. So let me get down to here. So let's start out with the base. Now, there is base to this. It is a little north of neutral. This has a very good neutrality to it, but the base-wise, it is a little north of neutral, especially when we're talking about like the sub bass. And getting into that, when tracks call for the bass, you can hear the rumble down below, but it's never like an overpowering thing. Sub bass is a little bit more dominant than the mid bass. It has decent speed, definitely. There's some good weight to the bass. It's got an excellent texture as well and detail. And then we move down on to the mids. And the mids, being somewhat of a kind of mild or mature, what we would call a mature V shape, the mids have a mild recession. It's hardly noticeable except for on maybe some older tracks or something like that. But it is there nonetheless. There is slightly there. That said, that there's a nice warmth to the lower mids. They sound really good. They have some good body to them. They're not thin by any means. They actually have a decent amount of thickness to them. They're full-bodied, like I said. There's good texture and details there. Now we get into the upper mids. They're a little bit more elevated. There's some good air there. There's definitely good separation. And vocals, they sound kind of forward, but not overly so. There's no shoutiness there whatsoever. There's no harshness or peaks or anything else like that. It just sounds really good, and it has a nice natural kind of timbre to it, or timbre, or however you want to pronounce it. I think that they're very good. They're very pleasant mids on this. There's a little smoothness to them as well. Then we get into the treble. And the treble here is very organic sounding. It has a nice extension. It goes up. It's got some air and sparkle. You hear like the cymbals and everything else like that, and the notes, and there's good separation there. But it doesn't go over that. Details are very good there. And so mostly the treble is just well controlled, some decent extension, and it rolls off a little bit quicker than like some average IMs in this price range. So that alone, it gives it a nice kind of quality where anybody that's treble sensitive, they'll like this a lot as well. Now getting into soundstage separation, honestly, the C3 has very good soundstage. The soundstage has some good separation. I would say it's actually improved over the T3 Plus in a lot of areas, the soundstage being one of them. It does well in, busy tracks. It doesn't suffer so much as other IMs do, and when things get a little too hectic. Imaging is accurate. Soundstage isn't the widest. It isn't super holographic and widest, but it does have a decent width and depth to it. And it does have some good accuracy, as well as some really just overall separation, making it just seem very, very good, especially when you're talking about the price of this. So in a nutshell, how would I describe this? I would describe this as kind of neutralish tuning, kind of almost a mild V shape with some kind of neutral tendencies. Very good soundstage, easy to drive, very good kind of well extended treble. It doesn't get too harsh. There's no harshness. There's no spikiness to this whatsoever. I think this is cheaper than the T3 Plus, and honestly, I think this is vastly improved over the T3 Plus. But for the sake of technical performance, I'm going to say that it definitely is more open sounding, slightly more detailed, and more neutral sounding than the T Plus. If we're going to be doing, I'll give you like a basic comparison to them as well. Trying to think of what else I put in my notes. Let me see. Let's see. That's it. I just put, I love the cable. I like the sound signature. It has a little bit less, on the con thing, it does have a little bit less bass than the T3 Plus. It doesn't come with a pouch. And that's about it. That's all I can say. I mean, there's not much on a minus side with these. These are very good. I would definitely recommend these. I'm going to be doing an A-B kind of thing with the T3 Plus and this to see if this can replace the T3 Plus in my favorites bin. And we'll also put it up against the C2. Just to see, you know, which one's going to remain and which one's not going to remain. I'm not a big fan of the C2, but the C3 I definitely like. So that's it in a nutshell. That's basically all there is to this thing. I think it's very good for the price. I do like it better than its predecessor in almost every way, especially the cable. Maybe not so much the looks, although I do think it looks good. I think I just like that other design just a little bit better. But this cable, man, I got to tell you, I love this cable. So anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and please be safe. I will see you somewhere out on the internet, and thank you again for watching.